Hello, Marketing Benches. It is Darren Elliott again, your host, and I'm here to discuss the second part of the content writing. So we're making a plan right now to develop very good, very focused content for your marketing, right? So that's what we're going to discuss. Now, the good news is this is a very short video. So I like to keep these videos at or around 10 minutes, but I think I'm going to be able to do this in a lot shorter time. I think you'll appreciate that. Anyway, all right, so what's in your marketing toolbox? This is part of that whole segment. We're going into part 2 of the content planning. So let's go ahead and get started. Where we left off from the last presentation, part 1, is this. So now that we have thought about the how, the 3 phases, remember we were talking about all that. Now we have to think things through. So this is what I want to have you guys consider. Think it out, all right? So when you're writing your content, think about what the message is, okay? The other thing, what's the purpose of the page? So what's the message you want to create on the page? And what is the purpose of the content that you're writing for this page, right? The other thing, who are we writing this for? All right, we have to understand who are we writing this content for, and what are we trying to address with the content? Is it a certain issue that's going on that's trending in your industry, and we can leverage that to let them feel through your content that there is an issue, but you are the solution? That's great. Okay, so we want to know, who are we writing this for? What are we trying to accomplish here? So, and that's the next one. What are we trying to achieve? Okay, so me personally, if it's the home page, what am I really trying to achieve? The wrong answer is, well, I'm trying to achieve sales. Okay, of course. But from the homepage, not very likely, right? So kind of look at the homepage as when you walk into a brick and mortar store, you're just trying to check it out, walk around, see what the merchandise is like and stuff, right? Okay, so we need to digest all that stuff. So asking for a sale, asking for an email, probably not a good time, but it is a good time to achieve getting them where we want them to go, right? So for the homepage, wouldn't that be a good goal? Is to get them where I want them to go. So I'm going to provide quick links. If you remember in part 1, I was talking about how a homepage could be like an airport terminal. We kind of get them where we want them to go, right? So what do we want to achieve? Like I said, I want you to achieve getting them now engaged with your website. Okay, so let's get them where they need to go. All right, and then also, what is the action that we're going to take? Okay, so a lot of people have a call to action. I think there should be a call to action on every page. But remember, folks, a call to action does not have to be sales driven all the time. It could be, I want you to sign up for my early bird special, or I want you to, check out my my pricing. Maybe the call to action is an offering, whatever. But call to action, a great call to action for a homepage is just click and go. Check out my website. So I don't think that the homepage is a good time to be aggressive. It's a good time to let them know what is on your website, and maybe any kind of special offerings that you are presenting or want to present to them. But homepage, let's take it easy. Let's just get them to start feeling around your website, checking it out, right? Okay. All right, so the other thing is we want to map things out. So how are you going to convey what you want on this particular page, whatever it might be, right? The other thing is, what's the order of the information that you want to present this information? So let's say, for example, to excite, engage, and educate would be the goal for the page. Then what's the order that you want to accomplish first? So do you want to have them, you want to engage them with something first, entice them with an offering or a bold positioning statement? Do you want to educate them about your experience so we get that likability and credibility out there real quick? It depends on your audience, doesn't it? And that's going to tell us pretty much, it's going to dictate the order of information, how we present that, right? Okay. So we also want to map out the focus phrase. Remember I said that key phrase, not keywords, but key phrases? So that's where we need to start thinking about, what is the key phrase focus? We are only going to have one key phrase to focus on per important page, right? So a key phrase is what helps bots understand what the focus is of your page. If you don't have a key phrase or you don't have enough content written, then you leave bots up to interpreting your page, how they see it. Okay, real quick, let me rewind. What is a bot? So a bot is what the browsers send out, and it scans the internet. It goes through the internet and it looks for pages that have done updates, it looks for new pages, anything that it could go back to the mothership, let's call it Google, and say, hey, this is what I found out about John's website. He refreshed his page and this is how I understand the page to be. Now, if John did a good job, he had a focus phrase, he inserted that focus phrase enough times to reinforce that so it's understood, this is the focus phrase that we need to index this page for. And why? Why is that a good thing? Because if we tapped into the search language, like we were talking about, understanding your market and their search language, if that search language is reflected in that key phrase, great things are going to happen, right? So what is a good key phrase? Let's just say I had a hamburger stand in Santa Clarita, a plant-based hamburger stand in Santa Clarita. Wow, wouldn't that be a great key phrase? Because I know that someone who's looking for a plant-based burger in or around Santa Clarita, that's what they're going to use in their search, right? So I'm going to capture that and I'm going to put that in my content and I'm going to reinforce it where it needs to. Now, don't worry. We are going to talk about that. There's going to be more segments. There's one actually coming up outside of this, what's inside your marketing toolbox. It's called the 7 ways to strengthen your key phrase. So don't worry, I will be going over this stuff and I will explain it to you in very easy terms because I want you to do this stuff yourself because I know you can. All right, so we talked about the focus key phrase. Now, the T and D's, doesn't that sound technical? Wow. But that just means titles, tags, and descriptions. Again, that sounds very foreign to you, I'm sure, right now. But don't worry, in the later segments, you're really going to understand what the titles, tags, and descriptions mean. But let me just say right now, the title of your page, the description of your page, that's that little blurb that shows up in search returns. We want to have our key phrase in that. And then the tags, that's the description of your image. And if you're using irrelevant images, you're missing an opportunity to strengthen the key phrase. So, for example, if I had that plant-based burger stand in Santa Clarita, I would want an exterior shot or an interior shot of my store, right? That would make sense. But why did Darren choose to put a picture of his daughter who's wearing a yellow raincoat under an oak tree? Well, I missed my opportunity to strengthen that key phrase. I instead used an irrelevant image. Shame on me. I had an opportunity to strengthen that, and that just happens to be one of the key areas that bots are looking for. Titles, tags, and descriptions, as well as what's in the content on the page. So, all right, very important stuff. There is a formula that search engines are looking for. I do offer a guidance program. Now check out my website, net as in network, design.com. And you can see all the do-it-yourself programs that I offer They're great. I provide sideline guidance where I'm looking over your shoulder. If you want to do this stuff with my experience behind you, great, let's do it. All right, so now the last thing is we want to write it out. So it's time to now take all your thoughts and now write flowing sentences. Do you know that bots can actually know when you are writing flowing sentences? Do you know there's a score that it scores you on the readability? How easy is it for people to read your content? So we want to stay away from using acronyms and very technical terms when we write our content. That's why I said in my last segment, hey, you kind of want to like put yourself in a cocktail party setting and write like you're at that cocktail. Like someone said, hey, Michael, what do you do for a living? You know, and Michael would probably warm it up and be very conversational. So that is what, you know, we should be, our goal should be when we're writing our content. Again, it depends on your occupation, you know, your industry. So, you know, if you have like a mortuary, of course, we're not going to be like whimsical and lighthearted. So, all right, so you got to know your audience. All right, so anywho, you also want to include that search language in your content. Now that we're writing it out, we want that search language included. And there is a formula, and you want to include that search phrase at least 3 times in that content that you're writing. And here's a little bit of information. You want 300 words at least of content on your page if you want bots to pay attention to the content, okay? So you don't want to take any shortcuts with content. If you need to write a lot of information, great, go ahead. We'll just break it up into bite-sized paragraphs and we'll engage them with headers that will draw them to the information that they're looking for, right? Doesn't that, I mean, that would make the big difference. If I go to a page and it's just a whole long paragraph, I'm gonna feel like, I don't have the time for this. But take that same long paragraph, now break it up into bite-sized paragraphs, short paragraphs, and I could scan it and know what from the header and from the image, what that paragraph is gonna talk about. Oh, sure, I have no problems hanging out and seeing, spending time with this website. That's the way we should be developing that website, by the way. Quick and easy to gloss and find the information and quickly get them where we need them to go, okay? All right, so the search language, we talked about that. Now we want to provide links to lead the viewer. So what I mean by that is, let's say you are a mortgage broker and you have 2 different types of customers. You have a first-time home buyer and you may have a refinance buyer. So what that means is, you know, the page that the refi person needs to be on has to be dealing with refinance. We don't want to mix the 2. So I want to get my refinance group over here and my first-time home buyers over here. So I'm going to use links to get them there quickly and keep them in their lane. I don't want to meld the 2 because I'm not going to be talking to you know, the group, giving them the information that they're looking for exclusively, entirely, right? So we want to make sure we separate. If we have different groups, we separate them, we get them where we want to go, and we keep the links relevant, so we engage them, right? All right. The other thing is beta test. A lot of people don't do this, but it's really great. If you could step away from your project, take 2 days away, your eyes will freshen up. But what I really love is when people have assigned, you could do friends, you could do family. I'm not crazy about it, but you know, if you know that those people are really going to give a good look over of your website, try to break that website, click these links multiple times, look at it like a viewer would, your viewer would. If you have an online store, have them make a purchase. I could talk further about that later, how we could set that up, but please develop a beta testing team. It could be about 3 to 5 people. Give them about a week and make sure that they are testing the website and they tell you, hey, I was testing it using this device and I was using this browser at the time. So those are two very helpful things, because if it doesn't look right, if it's misbehaving, then we'll know specifically who we need to calibrate or what we need to do to calibrate this for that particular device. Okay? So, what else? The content is like a house plant, okay? That I really want you to keep in mind. We don't just develop the content and leave it, or we don't develop any of our marketing and just leave it, right? We need to nurture it. We need to feed it. We want to go back to our website and any of our marketing materials, and if trends change, we want to update our marketing materials. The site is something that I really wouldn't recommend that you go beyond 2 months without doing something to your website. Add an image, take out an image, update your pricing, whatever it might be. I want you to just spend little time tweaking that website. It doesn't take much at all. Now, what happens if you go beyond the 2 months, 3 months? Bots may slow down. They may not be checking out your website so often. So we want to keep them engaged, and we do that by just, not obsessing, but just, once every 2 months. Again, it depends on your business. If your information changes daily, like you're a movie house or something, or a mortgage broker, you're going to be touching that website a lot more. But if you are, let's say, a salon, yeah, I think you can probably get away with touching that website, updating it, maybe with testimonials and stuff, once every 2 months, okay? All right, so let's see. So don't forget, it's like a houseplant. Now, that was pretty quick and painless, wouldn't you say? All right, so I want you to take into account what I have just said to you, and I want you to tune in for the next segment, which is going to be all about collaborative marketing. If you're starting out, or even if you're a seasoned business and you are looking for opportunities to do collaborative marketing, I'm telling you, it is a beautiful way to save time, money, and energy. So please tune in. And if you would, please subscribe to this channel, stay in touch with me. All this stuff is just going to be free for you to check out anytime you want. And if you know of anyone who could use this, please share this channel with them. I want you guys to know how to do this yourself. All right, until next time, Marketing Mentors, take care.